श्री गुरुच्या राना पद्मा केवल बाकाती सद्मा गुरुच्या राना पद्मा केवल बाकाती सद्मा श्री गुरुच्या राना पद्मा केवल भाकाती सद्मा बांधो मोए सावधाना माते बांधो मोए सावधाना माते याहर प्रसादे बाय ए भवतो रिया जा कृष्ण प्राप्ति होया होइते कृष्ण प्राप्ति होया होइते गुरुमुखा पद्मावक्या चिते ते कोरिया क्या आरना कोरी हो माने आशा आरना कोरी हो माने आशा चक्कू दान दिलो ये जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्कू दान दिलो ये जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति आहा होइते अविद्या विना सजते विदेगा हर चरितो वेदेगा हर चरितो श्री गुरु का रुना सिंधु आदमा जानारा बंदो श्री गुरु का रुना सिंधु आदमा जानारा बंदो लोकेनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकेनाथ लोकेर जीवाना हा हा प्रभु कोरा दोया देहो मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु कोरा दोया देहो मोरे पद छाया एबेयास गुशुक त्रिभुवना Ebeas Gushuk Tribhuvana Ha ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deho More Padachaya Ha ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deho More Padachaya Deho More Padachaya Ebeas Gushuk Tribhuvana Ebeas Gushuk Tribhuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Everybody please put your hands in the air. Oh, Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Everybody Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschitya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Everybody. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everybody please clap your hands. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare. He Govinda, He Gopal, Keshav Madhav Deen Dayal. He Govinda, He Gopal, Keshav Madhav Deen Dayal. दीन दयाल प्रभु दीन दयाल प्रभु दीन दयाल दीन दयाल प्रभु दीन दयाल प्रभु दीन दयाल. हरि बोल. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody please clap your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय राधा रधनत राधा रधनत राधे, जय राधा रधनत राधा रधनत राधे, जय राधे राधे, जय राधे राधे, जय श्री राधे, जय श्री राधे, जय राधा रधनत राधा रधनत राधे, जय गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन, जय गिरि गोवर्धन। जय गौरा हरि, जय गौरा हरि, गौरा हरि, जय गौरा हरि। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। Everybody, Prabhupada. Everybody, please put your hands in the air. Prabhupada, Prabhu. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribol.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद प्रहंस प्रविग्राजाचार्य अस्तित्व श्रीमद अभय चरण भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय. ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Prahamsa Pravigrajacharya Astatu Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासारि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपा गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राध कुंड गिरि गोविंद धाम की जय. वृंदावन धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय. गंगा माई की जय. यमुना माई की जय. भक्ति देवी की जय. तुलसी महारानी की जय. Their Lordship Go Nitai ki jai. Go Preminande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Hare Krishna to one and all. If you all could all please face the projector when you all are seated. So I would like to welcome everybody to the Sunday Love Feast program, and a very big warm welcome to anybody that's here for the very first time. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all at our future Sunday Love Feast programs and other festivals. And a big thank you once again for joining us. Today's My apologies. So today's Sunday Love Feast program is an appreciation program for the outstanding Rath Yatra festival that we had a few weeks back. So I would like to call the temple president of the Shri Shri Radharadhanath Temple, His Grace Swarup Damodar Das. Prabhu will now address you all with regards to the appreciation program. A humble request to please switch off cell phones or turn them to silent mode. And Matajis, if you all are struggling to see the projector, you all can move over on that end and we'll find seats for you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Arati Mataji. Shri Jagannath Rath Yatra Ki. Durban Festival of Chariots 2024 Ki. 2025 Ki. Hare Krishna. Anyway, thank you all so much for attending this very important program as we attempt to, well, the word is sort of incorrect, but I guess you'll understand what I mean. As we attempt to close out the whole event, just a short while ago we concluded a very nice, engaging meeting with all the department heads, or with many department heads that ran the festival this year. Govinda's gift shop, the preaching tents, the food distribution tents, the food preparation department, so many departments were there, and so much wonderful feedback in from them. We also hope to receive all your feedback as well over the course of the next few weeks, so we can start planning for next year's festival. Of course, 2024 Rath Yatra was a reintroduction of the festival after COVID. I mean, we did have a one-day event last year, but nothing of the scale as what we attempted this year. To start off the program today, I just wanted to read something very special that we received late last night. Incidentally, yesterday, April 27th, of course, for South Africans, we know it as Freedom Day, but in spiritual communities, especially Gaudiya Vaishnavas, April 27th marks a very, very special day in Srila Prabhupada's movement, that being the appearance day of one of the great saints in this movement, one of Srila Prabhupada's very, very beloved disciples, His Grace Jayananda Prabhu. And Jayananda Prabhu, for those of you who may not know, he, in a way, after Srila Prabhupada, was the main inaugurator of Rath Yatra in the West. In those initial years, he did so much, practically single-handedly, to establish the Jagannath Rath Yatra. The first Jagannath Rath Yatra, I think it was 1967, was organized by him in San Francisco. So his appearance day is very special to us and very, very much appreciated by Prabhupada. His efforts are very, very appreciated by Prabhupada, so much so that after Jayananda Prabhu's passing away in 1977, Srila Prabhupada declared that on all our Rath Yatra festivals, there must be placed a picture of Jayananda Prabhu on Jagannath's chariot. And it's a tradition that goes on all over the world. So very, very special devotee. And in remembrance of him, I just wanted to read a very short exchange that a devotee had with Jayananda Prabhu. When Jayananda Prabhu was asked about how he had become so advanced, in those days everybody appreciated. It was without question. There were, sometimes we may feel one devotee is advanced, and another person may think, oh no, that person's not advanced. It's sort of subjective according to our perception, our personal inclinations. But to practically every devotee in ISKCON, everybody exalted Jayananda Prabhu as being very, very advanced and very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So when Jayananda Prabhu was asked about how he had become so advanced, he responded, quote, "I don't know. I never had the time to think about it. I had too much of service to do," unquote. So this was his nature. He had too much of service to worry about the incidental development of his devotional service, of his devotional advancement. And that I was thinking about this exchange during the meeting and looking at all these department heads who sacrificed so many days, weeks, and months. I mean, I know in many cases, so much of sacrifice went in from their personal lives, health, work-wise, so many things, simply to put on this festival for the benefit of thousands and thousands of people that attended. Shortly we will be sharing some statistics, but just offhand, one of the amazing statistics that was shared, if you want to go by number of attendees in terms of plates of prasadam distributed. Of course, we know Hare Krishna devotees and we love prasadam, but still it's a good indicator of how many people attended the festival over 4 days. Over 100 and, I think, what was it, Umesh? 130,000 plates of prasadam were distributed. So in the context of our Hare Krishna movement, what to speak of Hare Krishna movement, but just the city in general in Durban, very, very rare to have an event that can cater for this magnitude. So personally, I also want to just offer my humble appreciation, my heartfelt appreciation to all the devotees that have sacrificed so much in the mood of Jayananda Prabhu. Jayananda Prabhu had a very remarkable way of engaging people. If you read the stories, there's one book in particular called Radha Damodar Vilas, compiled by His Grace Vyasaki Prabhu. And it speaks about Jayananda Prabhu and other wonderful devotees in our movement. But Jayananda Prabhu had an amazing ability to engage anyone and everyone in the service of Lord Chaitanya. And I noticed the same with all these devotees serving in Rath Yatra. To the extent that, and other statistics which I'll share in advance of the actual presentation, that close to 600 or more persons were engaged in this year's festival. So that in itself is such a wonderful tribute to Srila Prabhupada's mercy, that through his devotees, so many people were very, very nicely engaged in the service of Lord Jagannath. So today we would like to acknowledge the wonderful efforts made by so many devotees. Of course, we cannot name them all. We cannot bring them all in the front here. But at least I want to call out the main coordinating devotees that have guided, supported, and encouraged so many dozens, hundreds of devotees in this wonderful festival. I'd like to especially welcome to the front Umesh Prakash Prabhu. Please come to the front. There's two more that know that they are going to be called to the front, so just know that in advance. So Umesh Prabhu, he's been living in Johannesburg for, gosh, how many years now? 4 years. But he was exported from here, unwillingly so. Unwillingly so. Please have a seat, Umesh. And Umesh Prabhu, although being based in Johannesburg, he sacrificed so much time, energy, money to fly down every other week during the whole run-up of the organization of the festival to take a leading role in managing it. He actually is the chairperson of the executive committee of the festival and has served in the Jagannath Rath Yatra festival since 1988 under the leadership and guidance of His Holiness Indradyumna Swami. So Umesh Prabhu, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much. Not only just time and effort, but anyway, Umesh Prabhu, a couple of years ago, came out of, a near-death experience, a very major stroke, and still you see him today, just giving everything, absolutely everything. I know, I got involved in the festival this year just a few weeks before the event happened, but I was seeing all the mails and WhatsApps and the times they were being sent. I can judge it by the times that they're being sent. Middle of the night, 1 in the morning, 10 at night. Really, really amazing sacrifices that Umesh Prakash Prabhu made. Thank you again so much. Also, we'd like to acknowledge His Grace Bhakti Vinod Thakur Prabhu. Please come forward. Another member of the executive committee. Bhakti Thakur Prabhu is essentially the festival finance manager of the event, painstakingly recording everything, keeping us on track, making the managers aware of the whole terrain that we are about to hit in terms of the financial challenges. He has, of course, his own family, a full-time job, plus he's serving very integrally at the NJP temple in Phoenix, plus basically ran much of the festival together with Umesh Prabhu. And then finally, we'd like to call His Grace Ram Vijay Prabhu. Who added so much of support in, it's hard to pinpoint Ram Vijay Prabhu's contribution to the temple. He was like a thread that was weaving through so much of the festival, giving support, clarity, presence of mind, and just sagacious advice. It was so wonderful to have his presence and contribution. And also, together with the team that he handed over in the gift shop, contributed in a major way financially to the temple. So please, devotees, join me in acknowledging all these three devotees. Thank you so much. So the program schedule for now will be that we'll hand over to Umesh Prabhu, who will guide us into a feedback presentation of what was experienced during the festival, some interesting information that would be, quite amazing. When I read it the other day, it was quite, wow, I didn't realize we did so much. It was quite something. Of course, yes, there were many challenges that we that we experienced during the festival, many of which we outlined today with the department heads meeting. But I was mentioning to the department heads earlier that as much as we've got a one-page of so many areas of improvement, if we had to list all the amazing things and the amazing experiences that were had at this festival, it would be 5 times the amount. It was just so wonderful. And that's really due to everyone's efforts. who fundraised, who cleaned vegetables, who distributed flyers, who collected the Lakshmi, who cooked, who cleaned, who hosted this festival at the temple. So many people were involved. So thank you to all of you as well for accepting the guidance of our executive committee in being engaged in such a wonderful way. And we look forward to y'all's continued support through the year, especially next year, but also grabbing more people to be engaged in Lord Jagannath's service. After Umesh Prabhu makes his presentation, we will make a presentation, video presentation, and thereafter we'll also open it up for any comments or questions or thoughts you may have. So thank you very much for attending. Shri Jagannath Rath Yatra Mahotsava Ki, Durban Festival of Chariots 2024 Ki, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Vam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Saurabh Prabhu, for that. Yeah, Saurabh Prabhu was also instrumental in the festival in terms of guiding us and making sure we were on track. Much as he was in India, but we were getting instruction on a daily basis as well. So in terms of this session, we want to give some feedback and appreciation. As Saurabh Prabhu said, it's difficult to put names of 600 devotees that participated in the festival. So if we omit anybody, please forgive us up front. So firstly, I think all our service is dedicated to His Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We pray that the festival team has abided by your instructions, Srila Prabhupada, in continuing in hosting the Festival of Chariots of over 30 years. Thank you for engaging and blessing us with this intimate service to Lord Jagannath. So it was always, when Prabhupada came to South Africa, it was his desire to have this temple and the Festival of Chariots. So in 1988, Indra Maharaj ensured that we fulfilled Srila Prabhupada's sort of desire, and we have to be grateful that over 30 years the service has been going on by all the devotees' mercy. So in terms of the festival team itself, there was a number of ideas. It didn't only come from the exco. We have a festival management team, then we have a festival operations team, there's different layers, finance teams. So at the beginning of the festival, we said, what can we do different? So every year with the festival, we try to improve and see what, obviously the new venue, going back to the beach, it's not a new venue, but going back to the beachfront was a change for us, that we could do something different in 2024. Soul Quest was an idea that was brought up by Ujjvala and Rajastali Masaji in terms of where guests has to go to the mantra tent, exhibition tent, and there was a special prayer tent and a video booth, and after that they got a gift that they picked up. So this was to encourage guests to come and participate in our festival. The seminar tent was introduced. The exhibition tent was mainly focused on Srila Prabhupada. We also had a ISKCON Connect that will give guests our details of how they could connect with ISKCON. We also there was extra effort that was undertaken by Anand Maharaj in terms of we increased the feeding. In Durban itself, there's a lot of homeless shelters. So we felt by us hosting the festival that it will be appropriate for us to make sure that our social responsibility in terms of making sure these people are fed over the 4 days, which was very successful in fact. We also had an electronic payment system that all the departments had to abide by. We tried to change the stage program. We had an online assist program. We had students that came in and served that required some work experience, and we also brought back the four-day festival after 4 years. It was a challenge, but yeah, at the end of the day, it was successful. We also had a VIP online booking that was run by Rukmini Mataji, where you had to book and you had special sort of seating. It was still it was started, but I think that will grow over the years as people get used to this new facility. So this in terms of devotees engaged, as Sarupa was saying, it was over 679 devotees that were engaged that we estimate. Obviously in the Exco was the 4 of us. The temple manager was made up of 7 devotees. The site operation team that was headed up by Balaram and Raghunath Prabhu had 5 devotees, which... Okay. All right, so in terms of the festival management, it was Balaram, it was Raghunath, Rukmini, Rasastali, Ram Vijay Prabhu, and obviously the Exco itself. So they was instrumental in engaging and making sure the vision of the temple moved forward. So the operations team, as I said, was made up of 5 devotees. These devotees, I must be honest, they did most of the service. I was just giving the instructions from Johannesburg. In terms, they were on site 2 weeks before and a week after the festival, still clearing the site. And their planning started 3 months before the festival, non-stop. So department heads, we had over 28 department heads, and in the different departments, there were over 500 devotees serving to ensure this festival was successful. We had 8 subcontractors, meaning our 10 guys, our sound, electrical supplies, and so forth. They were made up of 8 teams, and roughly about 80 people were employed to make sure that the facilities were provided for the festival. We had, in terms of labor, we don't have devotees that assist in all. We had employed labor for the cooking side, about 25, and we had about 30 on site, making sure the site was clean and the different departments was cleaned at the time.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna. Sorry, Umesh, I just want to make one point about, can you go back to the list of, yeah. In Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's Chaitanya Charitamrita, in one very important purport, Srila Prabhupada says that this Hare Krishna movement is a continuation of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's quite a bold statement he makes. And as he was mentioning, as Umesh Prabhu was detailing the list of devotees, I was remembering the Chaitanya Charitamrita, how Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami goes into such detail about how many devotees are here, what they were doing, how they were involved in, who they related to, how they connected, the groups. If you hear the whole description of the Rath Yatra procession in Puri, they tell you how many Mridanga players there were, who was playing cartels, who was dancing. And I was thinking, this is actually a continuation of the same thing. All these devotees are actually engaged in Chaitanya Leela. So please offer them all our most heartiest appreciation for that. Hare Krishna.
So some stats from the festival. The book team under Surama's supervision, they sold 650 books over the 4 days. We estimated the attendance that over the 4 days was 130,000. The operations team put up 38 tents, which is a lot of tents. I haven't seen events with so many tents, just in a period of 2 weeks, and they dismantled it over 1 week. The total square meters, interesting to know, 6,600 square meters of tarpaulin was used to cover those tents. We had to order 4,500 chairs, 350 tables. As I said, the 2 weeks before that was intense. We had a lot of challenges. Obviously, even with the council, Raghunath Prabhu from NJP, I mean, we have to go to 18 different departments within the municipality to get permission to put up. Submit proper drawings that the tents are stable enough to withstand the wind and the Durban harsh conditions. So it's quite a process of even getting approval to host the festival. I mean, the fact that we got permission to host a festival on the Durban beachfront is very rare. You notice they don't have any religious, they'll have other events, but not religious festivals on those sites. So it was quite an achievement, and we're thankful to Raghunath Prabhu for getting that. So yeah, and in terms of other stats, there was over 4,000 people that went to the mantra tent, which was a record breaking for this year. This was run by Nolene Mataji. I think the team, she and the team did an excellent job in terms of making sure that our guests were attending the mantra tent. And it's encouraging to hear that so many people took advantage of this facility. I think in terms of body art, they estimated over 500 people came through that tent over the 4 days. In terms of bus coordination, to get devotees from the temples, from the different areas, and even getting from the site to the Rath Yatra, we use over 37 buses. Here we like to thank Anand Prabhu and Jatipur Prabhu that coordinated, and most of these buses were sponsored. We paid for very little buses. So the community also comes on board when we're doing these festivals. So in terms of Shishi Radha Radhanath, we have over 50 guests that came from outside of Durban that needed to be accommodated. Some quite a few days earlier and left quite a few days later. That's not just its accommodation, fetching them from the airport, bringing them, and I think that was coordinated by Rukmini and Sachi Dalal Prabhu. So yeah, it's a lot of service in terms of making sure these guests are well taken over the festival period as well, getting them to the festival sites, getting them back. So it's a lot of service that in coordinating and making sure that these devotees are pleased. This is the important stat. This is the Prasadam stat that's quite interesting. I think it's a highlight of our festival over the years. Some nice stats that came to on Friday. We distributed 31,000, on Saturday 24,000, Sunday 21,000, Monday 18, and with the shelters that we distributed was just over 7,000. So total we distributed was 101,000 plates of food. Prasadam. Yeah, we were just listening in our earlier meeting this morning. Rupa Vilas was telling us how these devotees would start at 12:30 or 12 o'clock in the morning to start getting ready the prasadam. They start cooking at 12 in the morning, and when they finish at 8, 9 o'clock, then they go to the site and they come home, and most of them only slept like 2 hours in the night. So to the cooking team, a very big thank you. Rupa Vilas, well managed. Thank you. So what does it take? It's easy to say we're providing prasadam from my side, but it takes a lot of effort to put it together. We needed 4 tons of rice, 8 tons of potatoes, 1,500 liters of oil, 1,200 kilos of peas, 1,000 kgs of double beans, 500 kgs of green beans, which was one of our challenges at 79 rand a kilo. So it became whether we use green beans or not. So at the end, we were fortunate enough, 500 kilos of carrots and 1,000 cabbages that needed for us to ensure that all the guests were served. For this, we want to thank Food for Life that came on board. They've been on board with the Festival of Chariots over a few years now, where Food for Life assists with the sponsorship and the distribution of the prasadam. Well done to Gometila and his team. Hare Krishna. The Govindas takeaway, in some interesting stats, we served 1 ton of chips, 3,800 soya burgers, 3,500 pizzas, 1,000 tubs, 700 tamazinis, and over 1,000 liters was used for the milkshake. You can see these operations are huge. To Arvinda and his team, well done. And I must say, I've been there a few times, and these devotees really work hard in the back under some very hot and not suitable conditions. So thank you to the team and the Govindas. So in terms of Soul Quest, we were speaking about where we are engaging with the guests. They had to do different activities. Over 600 people participated in that. I think if we look at the different tents, Bhakti Cloud had 32 performances over the 4 days. Lifestyle had 24 presentations. Spiritual discussions had 28 presentations. The stage program itself, I think Rukmini was just making the point, and a lot of the department, the amount of hours, having a 10-hour stage program over 4 days is quite a mammoth task. And to have 28 presentations, 80 presentations is quite a bit to manage and put together and so forth. Shishi Radhanath ki jai. the challenge tent had over 20 presentations over the 4 days. I think the biggest thing is the last point. Hosting a festival of this size and having any incidents, the festival site itself was incident-free, but we did were made aware there was a few car break-ins outside of the festival site. But to make sure that nobody was injured, everybody was safe on the festival site, I think that was well done to the teams. I think I must mention that even the municipality is quite happy with the Festival of Chariots in terms of our safety and our compliance in terms of food and how we distribute. Just to give everybody, our food in the Govindas and the Food for Life that we distribute is being tested on a daily basis a few times. We get the health department coming in, taking samples, checking the quality of our prasadam, whether it's presentable to serve to the guest or not. So over the years, we must say we have done very well in this section. Okay, I think as a festival, there's a few, we had to do a SWOT analysis. We did a lot more this morning with the teams. So as Saurabh Prabhu says, we got a A4 page of things that we can improve for future festivals. I think our strength as a society, we got to say our ability to host this 4-day festival. Very few organizations can do what we have done over the 4 days. I think our ability to have 2 massive chariot parades, if you see some of the pictures that have come through, it's amazing how many thousands of people look forward and come to our festivals. I mean, the Monday night one is just going out of, it's difficult to control with the crowds that we are getting now. It's a nice problem to have, but yeah, definitely a challenge for the operations team. I think we also have an attractive entertainment offering in terms of our strength. Our weaknesses, we got to say the site, as much as the site it looks very nice and is very colorful, but I think our operations team had a nightmare in terms, we had continuous electricity challenges, water challenges, parking challenges for our guests. I think those we can say definitely weaknesses, which is out of our control. Electricity and water, we are dependent on the municipality. The site was spread out. I think a lot of guests battled with the big site being so spread. We had the entertainment tent on one side, and on the opposite side we had the food tents, which was quite a distance to cover. And then obviously there was in terms of free prasadam, there was a disconnect from the main festival being separated. So lots of our guests had a difficulty in terms of trying to find that. Opportunities, the festival does present a lot of opportunities. We can make it attractive to different cultures. We've seen evidence of this. We will be sitting and discussing our vision, how we want to take this forward for the years coming. I think we want to make this KZN's largest free event in this area. We want to, by having this festival, we definitely increase ISKCON's preaching endeavors. I think as an organization, we also got some threats. We see the weather as a risk, and also I must say, in terms of financial capacity, we are struggling to make this festival sustainable. Yesterday we had our provisional meeting on a financial, and we are in the red. We are not covering all our costs. So the XO team will be sitting next week, and we will be looking at ways how we can make the festival more financially viable. So it's definitely a huge concern. As much as it's a big festival, there's a lot of support from everybody, but financially we are battling at the moment to host this festival. There's also some, being on the beachfront, we look at, there could be some security risks at the venue, but fortunately this year we were fine. I think it was managed. So this to give you some financial background, both the temples contributed close to 29% to the festival expenditure. Both Shri Radharanath and New Jagannath Puri, for a festival of this magnitude, we need a couple $100,000 to start the festival. And when we started, we didn't have any Lakshmi, so we were grateful that both the temples assisted with large amounts, almost like 150,000 from this temple and 150,000 from NJP, so we could start the festival. And as soon as you place an order with a supplier, he wants a deposit. As soon as if you order something, somebody wants payment. So a lot of the Lakshmi comes during the festival or post-festival. So on-site collection made up 71%. This is all the devotees in the different departments that did all the hard service. From the 71%, 46% of that was contributed by the gift shop. This is a very difficult service. Devotees travel to India, they do the buying. This year we had challenges with the shipping. With the shipping delays, the ships didn't leave India. And when it did come to Durban, the clearance and the took forever. I mean, the devotees had 3 days to unpack, price, and make sure it was at the gift shop. The Mitesh and his team, well done. I think it was a risk, but it was well managed. The Govindas, as you said, they contributed 39% to the festival. The Jagannath Temple 6% and all the other tents 9%. So yeah, it's definitely we're reliant on all the devotees that are serving nicely in the various tents. So it's important for us to also be, we have to appreciate us, we have to appreciate all the devotees that are serving in these difficult conditions. I've been a few times to the Govindas, and I'm telling you, it's not, trying to serve there for 12, 13 hours is not easy, especially under the conditions of extreme heat and this pressure. Okay, so in terms of the festival executive committee, we want to thank everybody for participating. This is a joint collaborated effort by all devotees, different stakeholders. There's a lot of people outside of ISKCON that help us, in terms of transport, just supplying our stuff. There's a lot of, it's a coordination of a lot of people in order to make sure that this happens. So on behalf of the EXO, thank you very much, and thanks to all the devotees in whichever way you have contributed to this festival of Chariots. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. His Grace Umesh Prakash Prabhu Ki. Thank you to Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhu, Ram Vijay Prabhu. So we'll need a few minutes to set up the next presentation. In the meantime, would anyone like to share any thoughts or reflections on your experience of the festival? Please don't hold back. Please increase the mercy of Sri Jagannath. Anyone? Otherwise, you may have to run the risk of listening to me more. So better save everyone else. Anyone would like to say anything? Srinivas Prabhu? Anything?
Hare Krishna. So despite all the challenges with the timings, putting a big festival of this magnitude together, I must say a great gratitude to the executive team, the operations team, and all the departmental heads. A lot of you may not see things that go on during the operations of the Rath Yatra festival. But at the same time, you could see that Umesh Prabhu has been very candid to give you the statistics of what it takes to put a festival together. But at the same time, we also critique whatever goes on during the festival, because that's the only way we can maintain continuous improvement. So thank you to every single one of you for your kind support during the festival. Hare Krishna.
One thing I realized when Umesh's one slide showed about the Govinda statistics, what was it, 3,800 pizzas? Correct? No, 3,000 pizzas. Huh? Boy, we can eat, huh? we can really honor prasadam. Now, that's one part of it, the front part, digesting, eating it. But the back end of that effort is immense. I'm not sure if anybody had a chance to go behind the front counter of the Govinda's takeaway area. It's amazing what goes on there. In that space, dozens and dozens of devotees just serving for, as Umesh Prabhu mentioned, 12 or 13 hours. I mean, that's just there. What to speak of coming there, working from home, serving from home, preparing things. and dealing with people. You know, some of you waited 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I heard today one devotee waited over 1 hour in the queue. And then you get irate when you get to the counter, and the poor devotee at the counter has to deal with all of that. It's quite something. And together with that, it's an aging devotee resource that we have there. So it's a major concern we have. One of the threats, wasn't listed here, is our devotee resources to be able to take this festival for the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years. So all the young folk here today, please step up, right? Take over this festival. Bring your fresh ideas, your fresh enthusiasm, your fresh energy and strength to back this festival up. Because in some ways, I have to admit, for so many years I've been involved in this festival, I keep churning out the same ideas, oftentimes, and that may also be relevant to some of you as well. But when young devotees come, well, young in terms of age come, they bring in such freshness, such vibrancy, and we really need that. As Srila Prabhupada said about our preaching, or his preaching, was like old wine but in a new bottle. So we need more new bottles coming forward, wonderful ideas to package our presentation of Krishna consciousness in a way that's very attractive to more and more people out there. Such a growingly diverse community of people are out there. We need to be able to tap into them and share Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy with all of them. Another thing, of course, that you would have noticed in the sort of glossed over, we didn't want to alarm, but I'm try to be an alarmist sometimes, but is the financial, what's the word, the financial capacity or the ability of us to host a festival. Before the festival, we had raised, what was the festival cost on paper? 3.0 million rands was the actual cost of the festival, of which we raised less than 1 million rand before the festival. So many of you understand economics, I mean all of you understand economics better than me, but just from a simplistic point of view, I don't know if any thoughtful businessman would want to take this project up. Phew. I mean, we ran 265,000 rands loss this year. I'm just sharing the realities with you. 265,000 rands loss. And consider if 2 days were washed out in rain. Can you imagine the risk we carried in this festival? Of course, we have dependence on Lord Jagannath and Srila Prabhupada for grace, but our dependence mustn't lead to recklessness, and to engage Krishna in our service, to engage Prabhupada to give us, the necessary sort of allowances to come out clean. So the point I'm making is that this festival really is not sustainable in the same way that we're doing it. Our upfront fundraising really needs to be optimized. Really, really needs to be optimized. And quite frankly, all of you came through in such wonderful ways. But we need to access more people to do the same that you have done at this year's festival. Not only donors and well-wishers, we really need grant funding from corporates, from municipality. And it's not easy to get. It's really not easy to get. So if any of you know how to help us, know how to do this, please help us. Get in contact with these types of people, help us make the presentations, and let's make sure that this festival can be a real dent, a huge dent actually, in Kali's plan for this world. Because these are the types of festivals that are really stemming this onslaught of Kali's tide, all over the world. So please help us in this, make this festival really financially sustainable. So 2 things came out. Our devotee resources, it's a real thing we need to look at, how to get more devotees involved, especially younger devotees, and how to make this festival financially sustainable. One group that really helped us this year was the ISKCON Food for Life South Africa group that came forward and got so much going on, so much of their funding and sponsors, and to this we'd like to thank Gomatila Prabhu, Shyamananda Prabhu, and Rajan Prabhu. Theirs was a huge contribution, and I shudder to think what would have happened without their help and all their devotees serving in the Food for Life South Africa team. So thank you very, very much. So now we would like to conclude this Sunday appreciation program by playing, which many of you may have seen, but also some of you may have not seen, a wonderful video compiled by Ananta Vrindavan Prabhu that tried to capture the main highlights of Rath Yatra with interviews of a small cross-section of devotees. So we'll play that now. We apologize in advance for the lighting. Somehow our management ability is not able to to cut down the amount of light in the temple, but we hope it will capture the necessary emotion, enthusiasm, and inspiration that was experienced at this year's Durban Rath Yatra Festival of Chariots. Shri Jagannath Rath Yatra Mahotsava ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. You heard of Murphy's Law, right? If anything can go wrong, it most probably will go wrong. So, what are our options? Alana Prabhu? Hare Krishna, apologies for that, devotees. In the meantime, if I depend on you to fill some time, please offer some thoughts, some reflections, some encouragement for the devotees about the festival.
Hare Krishna. We have these fiberglass swimming pools. If anybody has got a spare swimming pool, we would make a lovely Radha Kund on the beachfront for all of us. Please, we don't have to go to India all the way. Once a year, we can have a Radha Kund right on the beachfront.
Prabhu is saying we can establish a Radha Kund bathing gut there at the. If anybody's got a spare swimming pool around, let's bring it along. Well, one year what we had in 2013, we had a Dunk the Demon. Remember that one? Dunk the Demon one, where somebody dressed as a demon, some whatever demon, they were sitting on a platform, and you had to aim at a certain spot, and you hit that, and it drops a lever, and the person would just fall into the... So that's something nice we could introduce next year. Thank you for that, Prabhu. Yours is more spiritual than mine. Actually, Sri Radhakund, she appeared a few days ago, I think. Just a few days ago was the anniversary of the Holy Radhakund manifesting. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts about Ratha Yatra? Mataji's? Anything you liked? Anybody liked Ratha Yatra this year? Nobody. Okay, we got a free Easter weekend next year, Umesh. Come on, share something. One thing about, okay, I don't want to guilt trip anybody at a Sunday program now, but if someone has a sentiment of appreciation to Krishna and Krishna service and the devotees, one sure way to lock that in your heart is, you know what to do? Is to share it with others. So it's very nice. Oh, Isaiah.
So in 2014, I had the best experience of my life at the Ratha Yatra, but this year was even better. So I worship all the devotees. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama.
Who here was for the Who here was for the first time at the 2024, at Ratha Yatra? Who came for the first time, seated here? Well, that's a problem, right? That actually is a problem. We need a lot more fresh faces coming to experience Jagannath's mercy. Because what is the whole point of Jagannath Ratha Yatra? If you break down Ratha Yatra to its core, to its core purpose in terms of the external reasons of why Jagannath comes out of his temple, is simply to give facility to those that never come to the temple to see him. Right? So that responsibility lies on all of us to make sure we have every year many newer people coming to get Lord Jagannath's mercy. Srila Prabhupada once said that what is the potency, what is the effect of being at Ratha Yatra and being at Durban Ratha Yatra, but being at Ratha Yatra is that at the time of death, whoever saw Lord Jagannath pull the chariot, saw the dome of the chariot, the canopy of the chariot, saw Hanuman, saw anything to do with Ratha Yatra, their life at the time of death goes like a fast-forwarded movie, their entire life. But it pauses at Jagannath's smiling face, and then you leave. So what happens when you see Jagannath at the time of death? You go to Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the potency. It's a shortcut way to get people back. It's like an immediate entry visa back to the spiritual world by bringing people to the Jagannath Ratha Yatra. So that's on all of us. We must put maximum effort in trying to bring people to the Jagannath Ratha Yatra. We got it down this time?
All together, one voice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And again, one heart. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
A few days ago, I was sitting on the banks of the sacred Ganges River in Rishikesh, India, where we had our Rishikesh Kirtan Fest for 21 days. And now I'm sitting on the shores of the Indian Ocean at the southernmost tip of the African continent in the Republic of South Africa for our 36th annual Rath Yatra Festival. And sitting here, many emotions are coming from my heart, many memories are coming, especially with the very first one we did in 1988. At that time, if I remember correctly, I was temple president for a while, and we got the idea to do Rath Yatra here in South Africa. We understood that how dear it was to Srila Prabhupada. We were remembering how my dear godbrother Jayananda Prabhu received so much mercy from Srila Prabhupada for organizing Rath Yatra in the beginning in America. And knowing how dear it was to Srila Prabhupada actually from his youth as a means to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, we decided to do it here in Durban, South Africa. It was a challenge because at that time there was apartheid here in South Africa, a segregation in many terrible ways of the various ethnic groups in this country. South Africa was actually infamous for that. But we wanted to do a festival where we could bring all the ethnic groups together under one banner, under one spiritual banner, because that's our understanding, how there can be peace in the world. Although there's many different nationalities and languages and peoples and traditions and customs around the world, actually, in the ultimate sense, we're all part of one spiritual family. I've many times said that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he's the seed-giving father of all living entities, every created being. So if we all have the same father, we're ultimately brothers and sisters. And that's actually the real platform for having peace. Of course, diversity is also nice. They say variety is the spice of life. So we can appreciate many different cultures and the peoples in those cultures, but ultimately we have to understand we're all part of the greater family of God. We're all God's children. So we thought to demonstrate that, because there's the philosophy, there's the theory, and then there's the practice. So Krishna consciousness is meant to show the practice, how people can live together peacefully, and in a peaceful environment, achieve the real goal of life, which is Krishna consciousness, love of God. So that was our challenge, how to do it here where, apartheid was causing so much division in society, almost to the point of civil war. So in our humble way, we're going to make the attempt. It was a bold attempt. I was remembering how Prabhupada said one time that his only fault, quote unquote, was that he was always thinking big and engaging us in big projects to spread the Krishna conscious movement from its inception. So Rath Yatra was part of Prabhupada's plan. So to make a long story short, we devised a plan that we would approach the city hall, the city administration. So I went in myself because I was the only white boy in the team that was planning Rath Yatra. There was Shaimlal, my dear godbrother from India. There was Sri Hari, a local Indian devotee here in South Africa, and Yamunacharya, wealthy businessman at that time. He was also Indian. So I went in as the white man, and I told the city council I wanted to do a little festival for my friends on the beachfront, and we were going to pull a little wagon, we're going to have some children there, some balloons, and we're going to distribute some delicious vegetarian food. So they thought it was a little odd. They said, how big? I said, this big. Anyway, we managed to charm them, and somehow they agreed, and they gave us a place called the Bay of Plenty, a beautiful garden area just off the beachfront. I'm sitting, 30 meters away. We're doing it here again.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
I come to the festival here in Durban every year. It's just a very enlightening time, and people come with good high spirits, and there's a lot of good energy in the form of philosophy, in the form of singing, dancing, a kind of partying. The food is great, and I think the interaction amongst all the people, the relationship building is of paramount importance. So I come every year to participate in that, and also to put on drama presentations based on the Vedic morality theater, you can call it. So I'm enjoying it. I love it every year. It gets better every year.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
So it's my first time performing at the Festival of Chariots, Durban, and it's been incredible. You know, I've been a part of ISKCON for just over a year, and I've been wanting to be of service more, and I didn't know how. And I think in my heart I wanted to sing for Krishna, and Krishna almost made it happen immediately. So it's been humbling. I think the best thing has just been the kindness of the devotees. It's been welcoming. I feel like I've made family. So I hope to come back. Very excited. I think the biggest gift I'm taking away are the relationships I've made. And yeah, to those devotees, thank you so much for making me feel at home. And I can't wait to be back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
I come here because this is one of the first festivals that encouraged me to become a devotee. So much is on offer here. Plenty to hear from the spiritual discussions. There is a large community of people who attend this festival, and it is what Srila Prabhupada wanted to distribute en masse, the holy name, prasadam, the association of the deities. So it's also an annual get-together. We get to meet our friends who we may not see throughout the year, and we come and gather to worship the Lord in the streets of Durban.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And again, one heart. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, and again, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
So from the time I was a little girl, I've been a part of this festival in various levels and doing so much. But one memory that stands out for me so authentically is that I used to be seated on Lord Jagannath's chariot. As a little girl, I clearly remember donning a sari. It used to be bright, hot days like this. And my parents would dress me up all beautifully in a traditional Indian sari with gopi dots, the surbandi, and the entire attire. I'd climb up the ladder of the chariot and be seated with Lord Jagannath and being pulled through the streets of Durban. So today, all those decades later, I'm back here pulling on the ropes of Lord Jagannath's chariot, and that for me is so immensely special. It just shows the love that we have for this festival and that personal connection that I will always carry with me in my heart.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And again, one heart. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, and again, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
I've been involved with this festival more or less since the inception. Indra Jumanamaj was the organizer, but I was there. And since then, like 30-something years, I think I've been at every festival. And for me personally, it's a very deep experience. On one level, seeing the mercy of Jagannath Baladev and Subhadra Devi, how kind they are, and how they accept kind of uncomfortable and awkward situations out of their kindness to make themselves available to ourselves as devotees and the conditioned souls. So that's a very important thing to me. And then in a similar but somewhat different sense, personally I feel very happy when I see so many people coming and really getting something out of the festival. are getting like an experience they in many cases they've never had before. Even some of them come and tell me actually as I'm moving around the festival or sitting somewhere, that they come and tell me that this is just something new and something very elevated for them as an experience. So when I see that, then I feel very satisfied, because I know that the devotees have done all the work, putting everything together hands-on. They've really worked hard, extremely hard, to make Krishna consciousness accessible to people.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I feel blessed. I feel honored. It's a great privilege to be here, associate with so many wonderful devotees and connect. It's always very nice and it's very inspiring. This is why I always come, because right now in Maputo where I am, I don't have Sangha, so I always come to recharge my batteries, my bhakti battery, So, yes, I'm really grateful to be here.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
I can't even explain it to you. It's something that you personally would have to feel, because I can't put the feeling of an energy into words. I don't have the poetic capabilities. So my only advice for someone who truly wants to experience the festival is to volunteer your services in something that you enjoy, whether it's speaking or serving others in different ways, whether it's at like the gift tent, or my personal belief is everybody should at least once go and serve at the Food for Life tent. And when you experience what it's like to dish a hot plate of food for somebody who's been hungry for who knows how long, it changes something in you as a person, I feel.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
So for me personally, it holds a very special place in my heart, because I actually got inspired at this festival itself. Although I was raised in Krishna consciousness, it was at this very festival when the final kirtan was happening on the stage, and when the person who would then become my spiritual master was singing, and it touched the core of my heart. So I'm sure others would have similar experiences as well, where they feel this connection and that seed of devotion will be awakened in their hearts, and their spiritual journeys will begin as well.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
I knew it was going to cause some problems because it was like a white lie on behalf of Krishna. And well, what we did is we collected a lot of funds, we rented a lot of massive tents, We built a huge chariot, typical big Ratha Yatra chariot, cooked up a lot of prasadam. Even the devotees were wondering what we were doing because I didn't want to tell too many devotees so that the word would get out and the city officials would hear. So a team of about 20 devotees, we came down at midnight. We had the cart pulled by truck from a secret location where we were building it. And then the last 2 kilometers, we pulled it by ropes here. No one could see it. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Put it on the festival site. Somehow we managed to put up all these massive tents and this big stage and hundreds and hundreds of chairs, etc. And yeah, so devotees were told that they woke up in the morning, we're going to have a Ratha Yatra parade. They also thought it would be small time. They started filtering down. But the best publicity we've heard, the best advertising is by word of mouth. So very quickly, somehow by Krishna's mercy, it spread around town. There's a big, nice festival going on the Durban beachfront. It was on a Saturday morning. Word spread quickly, because in those days word spread quickly, the good news or the bad news in South Africa. So it spread quickly, and suddenly, at around 10 o'clock in the morning, when we were meant to have the festival, it started getting out on the radio. Newspaper, early morning radio caught wind of it. It was there. So because the word got out that the parade was going to start around 10 o'clock, the municipality sent 6 police officers down on motorcycles to check it out with the idea that it was too big, you have to stop it. So the problem was for them that it was getting so big that it was hard to manage all these peoples, different ethnic groups, the white population, the black Africans, whatever the different ethnic groups were, word spread out. It's an open festival. So by the time the police got here, it was like a big crowd and really anxious, and police didn't know what we're going to do. You're going to pull that cart? I said, yes. And so rather than report back that, we have to stop it, it was too big to stop. So what the police did, the 6 police officers on their motorcycles, they went to the front of the parade. And we gathered the ropes, all the peoples, and started pulling, and the balloons were there, and the kirtan was there, and the amplification was there. And Krishna tricked them, because the police officers, they headed up the parade just to make sure it didn't get out of control. That's the best they could do to maintain it. It didn't get out of control. They were supposed to stop it, but it was too big, but they ended up leading the parade. This was one of the miracles of Krishna consciousness. Devotees know that by the mercy of the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many miracles are happening because of the Sankirtan movement. Miracle means something which contradicts the laws of nature. So in so many situations, people become interested in our movement. We're given permissions for this and permissions for that. And so much positive change is going on in the world, spiritual change because of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. We could talk about that for hours. Anyway, it was a huge success. So successful that next year, because, apartheid was something very sinister, and there were those who were for it, and there were many South Africans who were against it, of course. There's a whole history about that. But somehow that festival, because it brought together these different ethnic groups, the Zulu nation came, the white people came, the coloreds came. Somehow it was a festival everyone was enjoying. The word got out. So next year when I humbly went to the same municipality, they said, sure, go ahead. One time Prabhupada said, one day historians will note how this Sankirtan movement saved the world in its darkest hour. And that was a dark period, but we added much light and joy and happiness, and we gave hope to the people of South Africa. And of course, this is not a problem which is just here in South Africa, it's all over the world. People are fighting over so many things, this country, these peoples, that language, etc., etc. So we showed in a minuscule way how it's possible to bring people together to enjoy on the spiritual platform. And it was interesting because it was put on by, a crew of devotees, ethnic crew of devotees, but it's really not an Indian movement. Some people initially perceived it as an Indian movement, but this is not an Indian movement. It may have appeared in India, but this is a movement from the spiritual sky. As Narottam Das Thakur says, Golok Prem Dan Harinam Sankirtan. This movement has come to the material world. It remains a spiritual movement. It's meant to take us back home, back to Godhead. So we spread the message. And therefore, for the last 36 years, the City Council has very eagerly given us permission to do this festival. So here we are, again, on the Durban beachfront, and you'll see in this video how much people of this city and people of this country are enjoying this Ratha Yatra festival. So it should continue. It should continue here, it should continue all over the world, because Prabhupada saw it as a very wonderful way of spreading the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna's teachings in Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, who had the vision to save the world in its darkest hour. Jagannath Swami ki, Lady Subhadra ki, Lord Balaram ki, Shri Ratha Yatra Maha Mahotsava, Durban Beachfront, 2024. Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's all sing together, one voice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time from behind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you, devotees. So we'll just conclude with a few announcements. Let's see. We'd like to acknowledge today's Namahata who prepared the feast, and that's Vessel Namahata. So please, when you see them, please acknowledge them. Oh, yes, very important. I'm very excited to make this announcement. In a couple of weeks, one of our very, very celebrated devotees, long-awaited devotees for South African Yatra will be visiting. His Holiness Swami Bhagavan Keshava Swami is coming. He's coming to South Africa, I can't remember when. Coming to South Africa when? On the 7th of May, he'll be based in Johannesburg for some days, a week or so, then coming to Durban for a series of wonderful programs. So from the 15th to the 21st of May, please try and clear out your calendars and be here. I could go on for a long time speaking about him because he's such a phenomenal devotee. I was first listening to him at least 10 or so years ago when, as we say in ISKCON, he was still a brahmachari. But I tell you, the classes and his input he was giving way back then was so amazing, so amazing. And since taking sannyas just about, 1.5 years ago or so, just over 1.5 years ago, he's blossomed into so much more. It's really, really remarkable. So please make a note of these dates, 15th to the 21st of May, and try and attend all his programs. A detailed listing will be shared on social media, but there are some posters around also that you can more immediately note down all the programs that will be happening. Just to give you an indication, yes, he's not a disciple of Prabhupada directly. He's actually a great-grand disciple, you could say, of Srila Prabhupada. But he's acknowledged and sought after all over the world of ISKCON and outside of ISKCON, so much so that even disciples of Prabhupada, the senior-most devotees, love listening to his classes. Just a week ago, His Holiness Indradyumna Swami, when he had heard that Swami Bhagavan Keshava Maharaj was coming, he says, "Oh man, I wish I stayed a few more weeks longer in South Africa so I could have attended his classes." He called him a stellar devotee. So coming from senior devotees like this is not an advertisement to fill this temple room up for Swami Bhagavan Keshava's classes, but this will really truly be for our benefit. So please, please do attend all his programs. We anticipate many of his books also coming, so please bear that in mind and try and maybe pre-order. I don't know if I'm cutting across the plans for the book office, but try and get his books. Maybe he'll sign them as well. Anyway, 15th, 21st of May, please catch all his programs. There'll be a few morning classes here, an evening program. Also, we are launching a very special initiative for the benefit of all the devotees, and also preaching initiative to attract other people in a systematic way to practice bhakti, and that is called the School of Bhakti, which was started by Swami Bhagavan Keshava Maharaj a number of years ago in the UK, that has really caught on, and hundreds, if not thousands of people are graduating through this devotional school. So we will be launching that on Sunday the 19th of May in the afternoon. He'll have two other programs in that day. He's doing the morning class here, then he goes to Phoenix and does the midday program there, and he comes back here for this very, very special launch. For me, this is, of all his programs in Durban, for me, this is the most important one. So please try and register for that program and attend it. It's Sunday afternoon on the 19th of May, starting at 4 p.m. So please, but besides that, all the other programs are really, I'm sure, going to be wonderful. Also, out of concern and appreciation and gratitude for all the devotees that regularly come for the Sunday program at Radharanath Temple, and especially that come for the program, which means Prabhupada's Guru Puja, the class, and the Arati. We have heard some concerns from some of you about not getting prasadam when you leave the temple room and you go down there, which is probably what's going to happen today. No, I'm joking. There's enough prasadam. But on normal days, I've heard this happens, that devotees who come especially for the program, that honor the invitation from Srila Prabhupada directly for the Sunday Love Feast, when they leave the temple room to go down, there's already quite a long queue down there. So there is some plan, some discussions how to correct that situation. So we acknowledge who are here in the temple room first and foremost to get prasadam, and I'm sure there'll be enough for everyone, but at least those that are here for the program, for honoring Prabhupada's invitation, that you will get prasadam first. So there is some development, some initiative to organize that better, to basically reward you, to acknowledge you and reciprocate with you that are coming for the program. So that is the spirit in which we are doing this adjustments. It may include some coupons, some system to facilitate those of you that are seated here to go down first. So please, there'll be some teething problems, some issues in the first few weeks or months. Please bear with us as we get this correct. But really, again, we want to acknowledge you that have come for the program so that you get prasadam first. Is that okay? Everyone agrees with that? Any indigestion with that suggestion? I hope not. But we hope that everyone will still get prasadam. Again, but first and foremost, we want to serve you that is actually coming for the program. So, is there any other announcements? Oh yes, when that starts, we are not so sure as yet, but we will announce it at least 2 or 3 weeks before we actually start that program. Any other announcements? Oh yeah, one other announcement is that in a few weeks' time, a wonderful devotee family who offer much service to the leadership of ISKCON and the GBC, His Grace Ananda Tirtha Prabhu and Her Grace Radha Sundari Mataji, and their two children, I think, will be visiting Durban for just under a week, including the 11th and 12th of May weekend. And they'll be doing some programs, and especially the Sunday program here, so be sure to catch them. Ananda Tirtha Prabhu has been a devotee for his entire life, very wonderfully trained in yagya and samskaras. His son Braj Mohan, who's I think maybe 14 years old, very young boy, who's already got a Bhakti Vaibhava degree in the Bhagavatam. So he gives wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam classes at the age of 14. So hopefully we can get their association in the form of programs and seminars over the few days that are here. So they'll be here from the 11th till the 15th of May. So, and then straight after that is Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Maharaj's visit, Srila Shingadev's appearance day. So it's a month full of festivity, full of hearing and chanting, full of wonderful devotee association. So please note that down. Keep yourself energized for the month of May. There's a lot to absorb, a lot to take in. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Durban Rath Yatra Festival of Chariots 2024 ki. Hare Krishna. So we can rise and observe the remainder of the Arati with Kirtan.
Hare Krishna.
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा
हरि बोल।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Everybody, please clap your hands. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody please clap your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Gauranga Jaya, Nitya Gauranga, Nitya Gauranga Jaya, Nitya Gauranga. Gaura 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 Hare, Gaura 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 Hare, Patita Pavana Gaura Hare, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare, Nityananda Ram Jai Nityananda Ram, Nityananda Ram Jai Nityananda Ram. Radhe Shyam Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam Bolo Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam Bolo Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radhanat Radha, Radhanat Radhe. Jaya Radha, Radhanat Radha, Radhanat Radhe. Jaya Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radhe Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radha, Radhanat Radha, Radhanat Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gora Hari, Jaya Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Jaya Gora Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Everybody, please put your hands in the air. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Namaste Narasingaya, Namaste Narasingaya, Oh Namaste Narasingaya, Prahlad Hlad Dahine, Hiranya Kashi Purvakshaha, Shrilatanka Kala He. Hito Narsinga Parato Narsinga, Yato Yato Yamitato Narsinga, Bahir Narsinga, Hridaye Narsinga, Bahir Narsinga, Hridaye Narsinga, Narasingha Madim Sharanam Prapade, Narasingha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Tava Kara Kamala Vare Nakamadbhuta Shringa, Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tano Bringa, Keshavadirta Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Tava Kara Kamala Vare केशव धीरता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशव धीरता हरे जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Sata Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON's founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Sata Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Ramacharya Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki. Mayapur Navadvip Dhama Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulsi Maharani Ki. Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Nishingadev Bhagavan Ki, Bhakta Shrestha Prahlad Maharaj Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. Gaura Premanande Hari Bol. Shri Krishna Bhagavat Prasadam Ki.